All right, Ronan MMA, welcome back to the channel. Now, it has been a very slow week for MMA news. So, yes, I'm going to talk about what happened between Petr Yan and Merab at the weigh-ins yesterday. I'm going to give my take on it. I'm going to talk about what Petr Yan said about Merab also, that he totally agreed with me on, by the way. And, yeah, next week, let the games begin, dude. UFC 286, and we'll have lots of content next week. So, before we get into it, please like and subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. I'll thank you in advance and then apologize for asking because I'm Canadian, eh? So thank you so much and sorry for asking, eh? Now, let's just get into it, okay? Petr Yan at first just looked like a shove of Merab, but when you look at it, right, and the still shot too, it was like thumb to throat. I mean, he aimed that. It was perfect. But Merab was talking as soon as Petr Yan got up on stage. Now, Petr Yan got asked about this at Media Day and whether or not he thought that Merab maybe was focusing on the political side of things a little too much. And Petr Yan basically said exactly what I said in my video about this the other day, where he said, he's trying to get fans because people don't like his fight style and nobody cares about him, and he's just trying to, basically exactly what I said. This is like a cheap attempt to get fans. And I still agree with that largely. One thing I would, if I had like Petr Yan's ear, not that I ever would, right? And also I speak English, okay? I would caution him about getting too upset, right? Like, whatever you think about the second Aljo fight, I know there's some people who think that he won and some people think he lost and whatever. It was a close split decision. If I'm not mistaken, it was split, pretty sure. Regardless of who you think should have gotten that decision, Petr Yan had much less success in the second fight than he did in the first fight. And I truly, truly don't believe that it's because Aljo fought like an idiot the first fight. Like, he keeps trying to use that as an excuse. I wasn't myself that night. I didn't fight, blah, blah, blah. I don't think so. I think in the first fight, Petr Yan was much more calm. And just had an answer for everything. Like, he had Aljo's number. In the second fight, though, there was so much trash talk and shit leading up to it. And, of course, Petr Yan's going to be pissed because he lost the title in, like, the worst way you could ever lose a title. I mean, you were beating the living shit out of another man, and then basically you beat him up too good for the rules. Like, I know that it's a rule. I know it's Petr Yan's fault. It's just so unfortunate, man. First of all, it shouldn't be a rule. Like, that makes things way more exciting, right? We see Mighty Mouse get finished in ONE FC with knees on the ground. It's just, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But it is the rules, so it doesn't matter. Petr Yan broke it. You were a champion. You should have known the fucking rules, okay? But there was so much trash talk and stuff leading up to that I truly feel like, and I remember thinking this when I was watching that fight live, that Petr Yan was trying to take Aljo's head off, like, way, way harder than he was the first fight. And he kept overextending himself. And a lot of those overextensions were what led to scenarios where Aljo was able to have success, right? Like, even when Aljamain would try to take him down and they did initiate in grappling, Petr Yan was like panic. I need to get the fuck out of here because I just want to beat this guy up. And then Aljo was able to take his back. He wasn't able to land the same kind of shots on Aljamain either. Like, he was loading up, right? Whereas in the first fight, he was being extremely technical. He was countering him. He was tripping him. He was doing everything. I would imagine that Aljamain told Merab, you got to get under his skin, make him fight mad, because, then he comes out there and tries to take your head off, and the last thing that you want to do against a grappler is overextend yourself in any situation whatsoever. If you overextend on a right hand, he's going to grab you, right? We just saw Cyril Gane overextend on his left hand, square his hips completely against John Jones, and that was essentially the beginning of the end for him. Merab is going to want to grab Petr Yan. That's what he's going to want to do. So I truly hope that Petr Yan was just doing that to, like, fuck with Merab back. And he hasn't actually lost his cool, because if he goes in there fighting angry, we could see him overextending all over the place, and then we have Merab pushing him up against the cage for fucking 5 rounds, and then we have a new contender who won't fight for the title. You know what I mean? I really want Petr Yan to get this one done. You could sell a trilogy match between him and Aljamain. Because despite what the record says, man, he beat the shit out of Aljamain. That's like a Matt Hamill type loss. You know what I mean? John Jones's Matt Hamill loss. That's Petr Yan's Matt Hamill loss. So I hope he keeps it together and he's not actually mad and he was just trying to fuck with Merab back. But with that being said, dude, I want to say this. I was reading the comments on Instagram regarding this whole thing, and a lot of people, to my surprise, I was actually quite happy, were making the same argument that I was making. They were saying, like, this has nothing to do with Petr Yan. And yes, by the way, I'll issue a correction. I did it on the video that I did about this. I left it on the pinned comment. I forgot about the war in 2008. And the reason I did, okay, is because it was a 5-day long war. That's very short. And I'm not excusing it. War's bad, okay? 5 days. Based on the European Union's, like, fact-finding or whatever, which you can, I don't know if that's, you know what I mean? Who knows if that's a good source or not, but it's the one that was available to me. More Russians died than Georgians. And the casualties in, like, a combined total were relatively small compared to others. So it was a small conflict that I had forgotten about. Because when I'm thinking that somebody's that angry towards a guy who has nothing to do with it, I'm thinking about, like, the fact that they were invaded and conquered for, like, 70 years. Not that they fought for 5 days. But besides that, dude, it literally doesn't matter. It doesn't affect my point whatsoever. Petr Yan still had nothing to do with it. He was like a 14-year-old kid when that happened. You know what I mean? And again, like, I saw a lot of people making that same argument. Petr Yan's got nothing to do with it. But then I saw people, and I can't believe that there are MMA fans like this. It actually is, like, concerning to me, okay? And pick your ideology. I've seen so many people. Like, I got shit on by some guy who subscribed to me right away when I first started making videos, who got upset that I had said something about trans people. And he unsubscribed and got in a whole argument with me over it. And I was like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, you watch MMA? Really? But there were people in the comment section, unironically, too. Like, they're not joking. Arguing for collective guilt. And I thought, what the fuck? How can anybody make that argument, like, in good faith? How are you going to say that Petr Yan is guilty for what the politicians in power in his country of origin, like, he didn't ask to be born there. It's fucking mental to me. They were literally saying things like, if you do not actively try to stop your government, you are enabling and helping them do what they're doing. So you want Petr Yan to just, like, roll up to wherever the fuck Vladimir Putin hangs out and either try to talk him out of it or, like, beat him up enough till the point where, like, I don't understand what the fuck that even means, dude. That is actually how North Korea, like, runs their stuff. If one of your family members does something horrible, all right, and if you didn't rat him out, even if you may not necessarily have been aware of it, your family's, like, doomed for the rest of its existence, essentially. How could you argue that? Like, I can't imagine that thought can actually go through somebody's head and they think that that's a good point. No, people should be collectively guilty. Okay, I'm half German. I don't have any Nazi relatives or heritage, okay? But half of my family, like my entire mom's side, is German. So am I also, like, you know, I guess I'm guilty. I wasn't there to actively try and stop Adolf Hitler. My grandfather, who was like 11 years old at the time, was not actively trying to, like, get a fucking grip, guys. That's insane. And it's crazy, man. Yeah, I know that, you know, if you look at the sport that we watch, you may not think that our fans are, like, would be the smartest people on planet Earth, but you would think it in a different way. They're unironically arguing for collective guilt. That's a horrible thing. right? Like that, it's horrible. And it's just frustrating to see that there's that many people like that that actually watch our sport, because in terms of like actual diversity, dude, UFC, not just UFC, MMA in general, may be like the most diverse sport on planet Earth. It does not matter where you are from. If you can fight and you come in and you put on good fights, the fans will like you. You know? If you act like an idiot, like apparently all of fucking Team Sarah Longo, they're not gonna. It's weird, man. I like Ray Longo. Matt Serra is a little annoying, if I'm being honest. Kind of annoying. What the fuck's up with their like bantamweights though, dude? You got Aljamain Sterling and fucking Merab Dvalishvili just being cunts everywhere they go. God damn, man. I do think though that Merab's trying to get under his skin, make him fight angry, so he'll overextend on something. But at the same time, I think he is trying to grow his fan base with all the fucking wokesters who are like... I still can't believe how the people that like are so fucking all about systemic fucking racism and this and that and all the other isms are just totally fine with hating an individual because of where they were born. It's mind-blowing. Now, that's it, dude. I don't have much else to say. I know this was kind of reaching for stuff to talk about, but there's nothing going on, dude, in MMA news, so whatever. That's the end of this video. Like and subscribe. I'll thank you in advance and apologize for asking. Thank you and sorry, I'll see you at the next video. Bye-bye.